Hello everybody, and welcome to today's webinar on how to acquire new clients for your services. It's right on the hour now, so let's get started. I'm Max Alter, founder of Video Magnets and creator of the series of video blog posts for accountants. I help my clients attract more ideal clients faster and make more money in the process. To achieve this, I use video. So today, I'm going to dive into the main principles that underpin my work. This webinar will be short and focused. It's the follow-up to the survey that I had promised, where I had asked accountants whether they'd want videos with blog posts for their websites. I focused the webinar around a case study so that I can show how the lessons learned from the survey and your questions, which came from it, are applied in practice. I want to emphasize a very important point here. The results of the survey and the principles that I'm about to explain apply to all the different types of professional services, not just to accountants. I use accountants, or better, the topic changing accountants, as an illustration and case study for these principles. By the way, in case you missed the results of the survey, I've reported them in a series of articles on my blog, where I also discuss the main questions that were raised, and I'll leave a link to all this below the replay of the webinar once it's published. Now let's dive straight in and tackle the most important task for any business: getting new clients. Now, as I'm using accountants as a case study, the question is, when does an accountant acquire a new client? There are two possibilities. Either someone wants to change accountants, or they need an accountant for the first time. Let's focus here on changing accountants, because with this we also answer the second question. But it goes a bit further than that. So, how would we approach this? Let's assume I'm the service provider, an accountant in practice for myself. What I need to do is help my prospective new clients with their quests, and that is, how can I help them change accountants? Certainly not by telling them how great I am, giving them the list of my qualifications and the like and all the stuff I do in my practice. That simply won't do it. Instead, I have to give them the information they want. But I mustn't hand it to them all at once. That would overwhelm them. Instead, I break it into easily digestible chunks. How? By grouping relevant questions together that make up the entire process. For changing accountants, I've broken it up into 5 topics. For starters, here are 2 groups of questions that address the major changing accountant concerns. Why does anybody want to change accountant? This spells out the reasons why they want to consider this step. The second one, what stops people from changing accountant? By addressing this question and spelling out the main obstacles, we'll help people reflect on what's stopping them, and we'll preempt possible objections by addressing them head on. Now, the next group of questions serves to support and reassure them that they are doing the right thing. What questions should they ask to be able to evaluate me, their prospective new accountant? Here, we help them with criteria that will lead them to a reliable result. Now, while these topics address, if you wish, more technical questions, they also create the foundation for a future working relationship between us and the client. This is such a fundamental issue that it deserves its own treatment. I'm talking here about trust. Trust is always at the very core of a client-service provider relationship. So the question we have to answer here becomes, how can they establish whether they can trust me, their prospective new accountant? I must address this issue head on. Okay, we now have 4 groups of questions that we need to cover to address our topic, changing accountants. There could be one more issue, though, that would be eminently helpful if we could provide a solution. What does everyone really appreciate? Well, what people love is a step-by-step guide showing them what to do. I should give them a guide to changing accountants. And that's it. So, let's recap what we've done. We've divided the topic that we are tackling, namely changing accountants, into 5 subtopics that we have to address. Why do people change accountants? Why do they not change accountants? What do they need to know before they change accountants? How can they establish that they can trust the new accountants, and a guide to changing accountants? Well, now we have the 5 topics and the main questions. All that remains to be done is create the content for our videos and blog posts. There was a question right now about how many videos you need to create. Is it always 5? Well, okay. The answer, as you might expect, is it depends. It will depend on the questions you need to answer to help your clients, and of course on compliance with your professional rules and regulations. For other services or topics, that is not the changing accountants topics, you may need more videos or fewer videos. As I said, it depends. You'll have to establish this in each case. I'll talk about how I went about this in a minute. So let's get back to our case study. We now have the topics and content for changing accountants. We now need to write the scripts and decide what videos to create. Either a talking head video direct to camera or an illustrated explainer video. Here are the steps for a talking head video, and I'll go through it quite rapidly. Get out the camera, shoot. Retake until both image and sound are right. Create graphics for intro, outro and overlays. Record or buy a soundtrack. Edit the videos, render and convert. That's the steps for the talking head video. And if you want to create an explainer video, an illustrated explainer video, record or commission voiceover for all videos, create all graphics, record or buy a soundtrack, edit voiceovers, import voiceovers and soundtrack into your editing program, import graphics and then animate, edit the videos, render and convert. And that is what you need to do to create the videos. Now that your videos are ready, you need to create quality blog posts, create thumbnails, optimize videos for YouTube, SEO optimize your blog posts, publish your videos and blog posts. That's the process to get all the content up onto your website, onto your YouTube channel, wherever. Let me show you how I went about it. First, I gathered a lot of material, evaluating my surveys, and then the responses I collected from talking to accountants and to accountancy clients. And finally, evaluating all the information I gleaned from a lot of Googling. Once I had organized all this material for the changing accountant topics, the 5 topics presented themselves as the most effective way of answering all the important questions people have when they want to change accountants. By the way, that's the beauty of this approach. You answer questions up front that by their nature are general. However, people will have specific questions. Your call to action at the end of the video or the blog post, or both, will make it clear to them that for specific answers, they will have to be in touch. Now what I showed you here is really almost a double take. I showed you how to create the process that creates the content that creates engagement and trust before you actually meet your prospective new clients. And that's the beauty. You create trust and engagement before they actually meet you. That is the whole secret of this approach. Now, let's go back to where we left off. With all the content that I had gathered, I set about creating a set of 5 explainer videos with quality blog posts, following the steps I outlined above just a couple of minutes ago, creating videos, thumbnails, blog posts, and all that. Now, here are the 5 topics. First one, the 4 most important reasons why people change accountants. Second, 5 reasons why so many shy away from changing accountants. Third, questions to ask when choosing a new accountant. Fourth, trust and the 3 T's. And finally, your guide to changing accountants. Now, how can you publish this content on your website if you're an accountant, that is? You can pick the hard way, follow my steps, and create it all yourself. I've given you the outline of how to do it just now. As you might expect, I have a much easier solution for you. In fact, it literally doesn't get any easier than that. Take the video that covers the most fundamental topic, namely trust, and publish it on your blog with my compliments. Yes, you heard right. I'm giving you this video free of charge on the house, no strings attached. Test drive the video and its blog post, which are specifically designed for accountancy websites. do this on your website at absolutely zero cost. Just click this arrow, which will be below the webinar replay, and download everything with my compliment. The download file will also contain instructions how to publish it on your blog. Here's a shortcode for the direct download link, which I'll put also down. Basically, it's bit.ly/V B4A video blog post for accountants. And then if you like it and you want more, you can have the other 4 videos that make up the Changing Accountants Quartet for a ridiculously low price. Each video comes with its own blog post, ready to be published, and each blog post is between 700 and 1000 words long. Here is the link, and here is the page. Each video and blog post work out at a mere £25 plus VAT. Of course, you can use the blog post also as your raw material to fashion content for your social media activities to promote your services. So it's all done for you. It's all ready. Just download, post, publish, and use as you like it. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the webinar, and if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching.